In this video, I'll be talking about how to secure a clinical attachment in the first place, which can be a very difficult task considering the number of people that are interested in doing clinical attachments. Personally speaking, I think UK is currently very, very saturated with doctors. Even in the emergency department that I'm doing attachment currently, I have seen 4 other attaches as well. And previously in the AMU department, there were like 3 to 4 other people doing clinical attachment. So, it can be a very difficult thing to find an attachment in the first place because the departments are overburdened. Just if you don't find any positive response, please consider the fact that the hospitals are already overburdened. The consultants may have brought in a lot of attaches, and probably the department is already overloaded. So the key is to keep that in mind, that it can be a difficult process, and it's equally a difficult experience or a difficult situation to be in for the people that you're asking to give your clinical attachment. So considering these 2 things in mind, keep applying, keep trying, and you might eventually be able to secure quite a lot of offers. So in this video, I'll be talking about one by one things that can help you. So the first and most important thing, most effective thing that I've seen people getting an attachment with is, of course, having contacts in the UK. I think having contacts today in today's world helps, not just in back home country, and also in the US, also in the UK now, at least to extent of getting a clinical attachment, it does help. So let's say you know somebody who works in the UK in a hospital at an SHO level, junior clinical fellow level, trust grade level, or even at a higher specialty level, like registrar or consultant, and you may know them. Try to make some contacts. Like, if you have graduated from a medical school, and considering the number of people that are currently in the UK, I am sure that you'll be at least able to find 1 or 2 people from your school or from your contacts who are working in the UK, and you can ask them if there can be some opportunity regarding clinical attachment. And although it cannot be a like completely sure way of getting attachment, but if they talk to their consultant and the consultant can accommodate 1 person as a clinical attachment in the department, they would be happy to oblige you. So apart from making contacts with people that you already know are working in the UK and asking them to put in a word with their consultants to secure a clinical attachment for you, what you can do is make those contacts yourself, and you can very easily do that even from your home country by contacting the consultants yourself. Now, how can you do that? There are 2 ways to do that. The first and foremost, I think more impressive way would be through LinkedIn. And now, how can you do that? First of all, you need to develop a profile on LinkedIn. I think a lot of people already have at least an account on LinkedIn, but we don't have we haven't put anything on LinkedIn specifically. And now there is the time of advancements in medical fields where MBBS alone is not enough. And I think we all know that, and we have put in our fair share of work towards that. For example, I know that a lot of people these days, post MBBS, they have at least some sort of like publications or audits or conferences. They have done something other than just MBBS that they can put on their LinkedIn. So if you're one of those people, or even if that's not the case, you're just simply an MBBS doctor, there's a lot to talk about on LinkedIn. It's a very interesting app, and I think you should have a very, very impressive LinkedIn profile. You can look for videos on YouTube on how to make an impressive LinkedIn profile, and there you can talk about any new advancements in medical field, any new research you come across, or anything interesting that you found, or any you can also talk about your interests, what things you can pursue about. And yes, if you have published a research or anything interesting that you have done after your graduation, any interesting case you saw, so you can talk about basically all of these things. And you update all your details, where you're working, where you did your graduation, any achievements, any researches, any conferences you have attended. And so very interesting search strategy on LinkedIn is that you can basically specifically look for people working in a particular hospital. So let's say you want to do your clinical attachment, but you have to be more specific with the search. For example, you want to do clinical attachment in the Birmingham, then search for hospitals in Birmingham on Google, put the names of those hospitals in the LinkedIn search, and it will bring a list of people working in the Birmingham hospital, whatever the hospital that you've searched. So then you have to look in the relevant department, like there will be list of, like, for example, radiographers or research assistants or nurses and junior doctors and senior doctors. So you need to have a look around and probably find the consultants in the specialty that you're interested in. If you do like spend a few minutes, I think you will end up getting some sort of contact from that. And then if your profile is impressive enough, you can message them directly on LinkedIn. And I know people who have secured a clinical attachment through LinkedIn, but it can be, again, you have to be very persistent with the process. I think roughly I remember that they contacted at least like 150 consultants before getting their first offer of clinical attachment. So yeah, it can be that situation. So now another way in which you can contact and email the consultants would be through Trac Jobs. I'm putting a screenshot here. So once you look for a particular job, let's say you want to pursue clinical attachment in the emergency department field. So you look for jobs in the emergency department, you open the jobs, and it can also give you liberty of applying in particular locations as well and particular departments as well, but it can be hit or miss in a sense that there can or there cannot be an email. The email may be protected or the email may be there, or if even if that email is there, you have to make sure that it's of like consultant or clinical lead, it's of a relevant person that will give you an attachment, not like some HR person. Another useful way would be to apply directly on the trust's websites. There are some trusts that offer clinical attachment and have a designated section on their hospital website that offers clinical attachments. For example, I recently came across East Sussex Hospital, and another one was Southampton University Hospital. So there can be trusts that have designated section on their websites where you can use the provided links and guidelines, whatever requirements they have for clinical attaches, and you can use that information, make sure you meet those criteria, and then use that link to make an application for clinical attachment. There may be some additional processing fees, the admin fees, like £150, ranging from £150 to £250 to £300 even. So yeah, some trusts may offer it for free, some trusts may have some additional fee. So yeah, you can use those websites of trust hospital and apply for clinical attachments there. And another way would be to apply to make an application to the HR directly. For example, again, wherever you want to apply for clinical attachment, let's say again Birmingham, use the example of Birmingham. So you search for the hospitals in Birmingham, go through relevant specialty, let's say accident and emergency department, search that department on the hospital's website, and you may be able to find an HR number there or admin number there, and then you can write an email to the HR admin. I think they are very helpful generally, and at least I have seen that they always reply. So you can use that email provided of HR or junior doctor admin and make an application to them and inquire them if there are any placements for clinical attachments, or even if you can ask them, let's say you figure out the names of the consultants and clinical leads in that particular department, and you express your wish, you send your CV to the junior admin doctor admin department, and you ask them if I can get the email of the consultant provided and I can contact them regarding it. Or if you don't know the names, you can still ask them if you can provide me with details of relevant consultants that I can contact in order to secure an attachment here. So I'm sure they will definitely be able to help you.